Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablos asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, In Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs, but not convicted rapists. A German court gives a woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791 that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawg Knight.
My. It's another hump day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where I have the wrong thumbnail. Holy crap. What the hell am I doing? Did I forget to do that this morning? Oh my God, it's embarrassing. I embarrass myself every damn day. There we go. That's the right one. I'll bet you my articles don't pop up either. Will they? Oh yeah, they will. Okay, we're good. All right. Hey, how you doing? Happy hump day. Why can't I hear myself? That's weird. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Yeah, it's Wednesday, hump day, and it's also Ash Wednesday, but on X, hump day is also Ass Wednesday. So anyway, I don't know why I made that distinction. Probably because when I scrolled through the hump day post, well, you know what you get. So, let's just get it going because I don't really have a lot of chit chat today. First the chat day is JB. Yes, JB, you were officially the first one in, and you get the bell. And yes, even though I had a tiny glitch at the beginning of the show, it had nothing to do with the chat. The chat remained, okay? It was just a quick little boop, and then I fixed it immediately. But JB was already in the chat when I did it, and he was in the chat when I fixed it. So there you go. Anyway, how dare you reset the stream? AI, what? AI was second. What? No, you weren't in the first. Yeah, you were in the first in your own chat, but the official list comes into my chat. You may have been first because you saw yourself first. That's only because the thing does the thing, but it didn't reset. JB was here before I even started the stream and still there. The same list is there that I had when I did the whatever reset. So y'all, and I know you probably already went through this somewhere down here, but I'm at the top of the chat reading what you wrote. Nope, it was JB, and there's no doubt about it. Kara Soldier was second, Renee Mayette, then AD. And I don't know why you have, what do you mean AI was second? Who's AI? Anyway, but yeah, good morning, Kara Soldier, Renee Mayette, and Avocados Diabli. Also, Mike Savage, Berg, Midnight is in the house. What up, Midnight? Our young friend, Unholy Queen. Let's see, Blue Eyed Scream, and who else? That seems to be everybody. Maybe. I'll scroll down here. Oh, Tall Person. Hello, good morning. Also, Maddie's in the house. And the Pope, Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich. With today's message of hope, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. Now, Pope Tyre says, blessing of the Holy Ghost, have patience with those younger than you. We were once young and needed guidance from an elder. You are the elder, and they need you so that they will become guiding elders. Yes. In other words, set the damn example and don't act like me. All right, there you go. I demand an impartial judge. I'm biased towards you, AD. You're the dude here, you know? You are the rock, the anchor, the great questioner. I absolutely have a bias towards you. I'm being unbiased by allowing JB to have his rightful place as today's first. So there, I'm just getting to that part of the chat. Let's see. What is this? I think it is combining points from the two streams. It already topped me out at 50 rather than 75? I have no idea. My stream, my chat that the host of the show gets is the official arbiter of what order you got here. Okay. And here's what happens. Because I've learned this on other people's streams. Like, I see someone pop something up and I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm the first one here. Because when you log in to their chat or their stream, sometimes if you immediately type something, it'll show up first on your list, but it won't be first on their list because some other people already typed and shit because you just didn't get the whole thing. Anyway, I don't know why I'm still talking about it. It doesn't matter that much other than JB got the bell. There you go. All right, let's see who else is here. Anybody else here? I see Green Badger Outdoors, Miss Wild Wolf, Rockhopper, my friend from down under, also Midnight in Exile, and that's a pretty good sampling of the gang. So I'm glad you're all here. 18 people, at least on this thing. Why is it 18 people? 90 people, 9 likes. You can fix that. But other than that, we're happy. We're happy that you're here. We're happy that life is good. We're happy it's hump day. We're happy that the week's going to be over in a couple of days. Because every week you get done means you did something that a lot of people no longer do because they're dead. What the hell would that mean? Anyway. All right, let's scroll through some stuff here. By the way, I didn't even oh my God, I didn't even do the, okay, hang on. I didn't do that either. There's so many things I was in a hurry this morning and I wanted to get things done and I just wasn't as diligent as I usually am for getting things right. All right, so today, wait, what's that? What the hell's that? Okay, there we go. Thanks to people sharing the show. As always, I'd like to acknowledge those people, and there's a bunch of us. So here we go. Midnight was the first one on this list. There you go. Thank you, Midnight, for sharing the show. I can't repost it, but I don't know why that is. I think it's because you're a minor. Maybe the day you turn 18, YouTube will let people repost your shit. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, also Tall Person, thank you very much. Doing that, and then here's what why am my pseudo kind of face on a toaster? That's weird. I smell burnt toast. Oh, because pants on fire. Got it. Okay, that's a good one. Also, thank you, Maddie, for sharing the stream. Greatly appreciated. Mike Savage with the Let Us Go and the Daily. That's awesome. Simon Wilkins with a little trail photo montage. We'll show you the montage because I appreciate it. Here we go. He's walking on the trail somewhere in there, Canada, and there you go. And more walking. Where's all this green coming from? This can't be recent. Where the hell is this at? Because what was that lake there? The river you were taking pictures of. These are old pictures, right? Are you even here? I don't even know. Anyway, yes, thank you for sharing the stream by giving us a little scenery that I wish was happening right now. Although it is getting kind of warm here. It's been in the 50s here in Minnesota. And a lot of the snow's been melting. Green Badger Outdoors with our daily military hardware. What is that? That's an old, what is that plane? It's a prop. Anyway, Ms. Wild Wolf sharing the stream. Greatly appreciated. We'll be posting that. And, Ms. Wild Wolf, that's an inopportune place to have your pants on fire. Yes, it is a plane. I am very aware of that's a plane. I'm just trying to figure out what plane it is. Everything is green. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. There's nothing green here. It's brown. Even though some of the snow's melted. I have grass even I can see in Minnesota. Usually don't see much grass in February in Minnesota. All right. Holiday calendar today. What's the holiday? It's Pluto Day. Yeah. Okay. Celebrating Pluto. Explore the mysteries of the solar system and discover something new. Pluto's not new. It's been there for as long as I can remember. No. National Drink Wine Day. Yes. I like that day. Okay, it's cow milked while flying in an airplane day. That sounds like a Friday Q&A question. Thumb Appreciation Day. Yes, great to have opposable thumbs. because that helps us, makes us human. National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day. Now that's, again, there's some oddly specific holidays going on. I don't get it. Carnival continues in Brazil and many Latin American countries. Gambia, Independence Day. And National Battery Day, ladies. Don't forget your batteries. I don't know why I said that. That's crazy. Okay, let's move on. I'm just going to get right past that. It is Ash Wednesday, though, the beginning of Lent, when you can no longer eat fish on Ash Wednesday and Fridays, and also people have smudges on their head. Now, and it's, it's just part of the holiday calendar. Now, what's interesting, though, I saw this post, and I was like, I had to think about it for a second, because this post here on X from 6 hours ago, and I'm like, where did this happen? It says, whoa, a young boy was told to remove his Ash Wednesday mark by a teacher. No way would they do this to a Muslim. They would not say you are to remove your hijab. Christians are persecuted everywhere. We must restore the Anglosphere. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp there. Except there's only one problem. When did this happen? Because it certainly didn't happen today, unless, I asked the question when I saw this. I said, does this kid's dad drive a DeLorean? Because you'd have to have some time machine action going on for that to happen. But anyway, so obviously this happened a long time ago. But here's what they put on here.
A teacher walked over and said, like, what is that? And I was like, it's Ash Wednesday and I'm Catholic's first day of Lent. He's like, no, it's inappropriate. Go take it off.
His attempt to explain the meaning of the symbol fell on deaf ears.
She took me aside and she
So
said,
this happened at some point in history. Didn't happen this year, obviously.
You have to take it off. So she gave me a de-infection wipe, whatever they're called, and she made me wipe it off.
William says it happened as many of his classmates watched.
They saw teacher wipe it off because they wiped it off in front of all my friends. I felt like really bad.
The school's principal called William's grandmother as soon as she learned of the incident.
I was pretty upset.
The teacher also called.
I told him, you know what? And I swear, look, what business is that of the teachers to have some kid wipe that off? But this, again, it didn't happen today, because today's Ash Wednesday.
The Constitution of the First Amendment, and she said no and oh.
The Davis School District says what happened is not acceptable.
Why that even came up, I have no idea.
Because
it wants students of all faiths to feel welcomed.
When a student comes into school with ashes on their forehead, it's not something that we say, please take off.
A teacher walked.
Okay, so anyway, Valley View, I don't know what, it seems like every state has a Valley View, a school named Valley View something, but who knows where that was. But it obviously wasn't this year, so I don't know why they posted that today. Anyway, so you'll be seeing a lot of people with their ashes on their heads today. These pictures are premature because obviously, I suppose some people in the East Coast may have already dropped into church this morning and got their ashes. So don't make fun of anybody with smudges on their head, and don't try to wipe it off, because you probably go straight to hell. Okay, it is also Hump Day, of course, Hump Day. And so I'm going to scroll slowly because, the Hump Day one's not so bad. It's the Happy Hump Day that I can't scroll very far. So anyway, we are halfway to the weekend, which is always glorious unless you work on weekends. And then there's the AI-generated Hump Day. Oh, you can't even see this shit, can you? Let me put it on the screen. So there we go, halfway to Hump Day. There's the AI-generated post with the lovely lady and a camel. And Happy Hump Day, and there's just some weird shit going on. I don't have a favorite one today. But also on the Happy Hump Day, I'll just stop right at the beginning. There we go. There you go. Hump Day, also known as Ass Wednesday. And there you go. And that's an AI-generated chick that's on here every week. I don't know why they're so happy to have her on there, but she's always ends up on top. All right, let's talk about some news, because enough of this silly shit. Some headlines that caught my eye today. I didn't hear about this until just this morning. Apparently yesterday, D.C. police said a man with a shotgun was running towards the Capitol and got his ass arrested, thank goodness. U.S. Capitol Police said a man exited a vehicle with a shotgun Tuesday, began running toward the Capitol, and was then arrested. I'm surprised he wasn't air raided. Here's the Capitol Police talking about
Absolutely. This. So it's just afternoon today.
It's hard to hear.
Gentleman parked in the 100 block of Maryland Avenue in a white
it's all on your
Mercedes
right side,
SUV. He exited the vehicle.
A white Mercedes SUV
with a shotgun and began running towards the Capitol up the walkway just behind me. And as he approached the Capitol, Capitol police officers observed this individual, challenged him, and ordered him to drop the weapon and get on the ground, which he did comply with.
Oh, so, okay, that's why they didn't air raid him, because he complied. He said, "Get the fuck down." Probably had some guns pointed at him, and he complied, and now he's still living to tell about it in prison.
Custody by United States Capitol Police. A couple more questions.
They'd ask, but
Just in terms of the circumstances, did the individual say anything at the time of his arrest, and also how close was he to potentially pulling the trigger?
He immediately complied from what we can see right now.
Okay.
I haven't been briefed on any utterances that he made during the arrest.
Just to clarify one thing, Chief, the officers who confronted the suspect, did they draw their firearms as well?
They did.
Okay.
Were you able to, Jerry, might have missed a question on this. Was there any kind of political motivation on this at all?
We are.
They don't. How would he know? He just said he didn't ask, and they didn't get any details. He just said this is what happened, and they complied, and that's where they got so far.
We're unaware of a motive at this time.
Okay. Last question, Chief. About how far?
I mean, it's a Mercedes SUV, so obviously it was a Democrat, because I have no idea. I just made that up. Apparently he had some tactical gear on too, though.
Travel from the parked vehicle to the point of apprehension.
Well, if you look right over here by the Botanical Garden, about halfway down, all the way to the Capitol steps. So.
Okay, so he got all the way to the Capitol steps. Anyway, so here we go. Chief Sullivan pointed out that he had tactical vest on as well as tactical gloves, according to This Is CNN. And then CNN pointed out that the vehicle from which the man exited is not registered in his name. So whatever, how they found that out so quickly. Did they know the man's name? Fox News noted the Capitol Police said the man was near the west front end of the U.S. Capitol building after the man that was apprehended by Capitol Police. After he was apprehended, Capitol Police posted on X, at this time there does not appear to be any other suspects or ongoing threat. Out of an abundance of caution, please continue to stay away from the area while we investigate and collect evidence. Again, at this time, one person is in custody. So, good. Capitol Police did their job. No one-man insurrections and shit like that. All right. Also, a headline in Breitbart: federal judge rules. This is crazy. Okay, so remember Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was sent to El Salvador, deported, and then the judge said he had to bring him back, and somehow they got him back. What up, Selecta Boy? Yeah, boy. Well, now a judge has said he cannot be re-detained by immigration authorities. Like, these judges are just making some arbitrary shit decisions. Immigration and Customs Enforcement cannot re-detain Kilmar Abrego Garcia because a 90-day detention period has expired and the government has no viable plan for deporting him, a federal judge ruled on Tuesday. Now, this is interesting because even how Breitbart is framing this is odd. The Salvadoran national's case has become a focal point in the immigration debate after he was mistakenly deported to his home country last year. That's an interesting way to put it. Mistakenly? Since his return, he has been fighting a second deportation to a series of African countries proposed by the Department of Homeland Security officials. The government made one empty threat after another to remove him to countries in Africa with no real chance of success, U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes in Maryland wrote in her Tuesday order. From this, the court easily concludes that there's no good reason to believe removal is likely and reasonably foreseeable in the reasonably foreseeable future. Now, there's something interesting that just popped up about this case, though. And I wish I could find it. It's not, I don't even think it's in this article. Abreu Garcia and his American wife and child has lived in Maryland for years, but he immigrated to the U.S. illegally as a teenager in 2009. Here it is. In 2019, an immigration judge ruled that he could not be deported to El Salvador because he faced danger from a gang that had threatened his family. By mistake, he was deported there anyway. However, I just saw it, and I can't find it now. During that hearing or whatever, Garcia himself said that he would, if he's going to be deported, he would prefer to be deported to his home country. His home country is El Salvador. So I'm trying to understand it. Why? Now, facing pressure and a court order, President Donald Trump's administration brought him back in June, but only after securing an indictment charging him with human smuggling in Tennessee. He has pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, Trump officials have said he cannot stay in the U.S. In court filings, officials have said they intend to deport him to Uganda, Eswatini, or Ghana, or Liberia. But there is official court records that said he wanted to be, if he's going to be deported, he have to be deported to his home country. So go figure. How is it a mistake to send him to his home country? Well, because that one judge said you can't send him to his home country, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, other stuff coming here. Also, this is here's the story. This is another story about it. An Obama judge gives MS-13 gang member a free pass to stay in America. And again, the federal judge ruled in favor of the suspected gang member and human trafficker Kilmar Abrego Garcia, giving him a lifeline he doesn't deserve. Let's see. Is this from the same article? What article? Hang on a second here. Is this? Okay, they're quoting the News Nation article. Okay, so we've covered his alleged crimes before, but they're worth repeating. Okay, so this article is pretty much the same stuff. So anyway, there's two versions of the article there. Also in national news related to immigration, ICE spokesman Tricia McLaughlin is leaving the Trump administration. That is the young Tricia McLaughlin, although she's older than she looks. Department of Homeland Security spokesman Tricia McLaughlin, one of the fiercest public defenders of President Trump's immigration crackdown, is leaving the administration. McLaughlin's departure was first reported Tuesday by Politico and later confirmed by her boss, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Quote, "She has played an instrumental role in advancing our mission to secure the homeland and keep America safe," Noem wrote on social media. "While we are sad to see her leave, we are grateful for her service and wish Tricia nothing but success." She looks old? No, she doesn't. She looks like she's young 30s at max. Anyway, let's see. McLaughlin is best known for defending immigration customs enforcement operations no matter the circumstances. Most famously, she claimed Minnesota man Alex Preddy wanted to massacre law enforcement. And now they're going into talking about Preddy. I don't give a shit about Preddy. It's interesting that she's leaving, though. And J.B. Pritzker called her a pathological liar. So this, I don't know where Mercury News is from, but clearly they've decided to quote the people who are detractors as opposed to supporters. Anyway, so she's leaving the administration. That's interesting. Let's get into the more topical topics, as in things that are trending on X right now. One of the big ones is, or featured articles on X, I should say. New York election workers processes non-citizen registrations on hidden camera. Independent journalist and Muckraker released footage on February 17th showing a Board of Elections staffer accepting an invalid registration application from someone claiming non-citizen status. New York law requires U.S. citizenship for voters, but registration relies on a simple checkbox affirmation without proof like a passport. The video has fueled support for the SAVE Act, which passed the House last week and demands citizenship documents for federal registration amid debates over fraud, risk, and barriers. So apparently, let's see, here it is, caught on hidden camera. How long is this video? Oh, I'm not watching 6 minutes of this. Anyway, I'll put a separate link to the muckraker 6-minute video showing them registering non-citizen voters. Yay! Here, let's see what I want to see what this chick has to say about it. This is only 33 seconds. Let's read this. Let's watch this. And I'm doing this more for research purposes and for the ultimate pleasure of Avocados Diabli. I'm sure this is right up his alley. Maybe.
Well, good luck voting as a married woman if the SAVE Act passes. I swear I think your guys' 14 boosters actually made you retarded. As a married woman, you will still be able to vote even if your name changed. SAVE Act means that you will have to bring a form of documentation in addition to your driver's license, whether it's a passport or a birth certificate. I understand not everyone has a passport. Everyone has a birth certificate. You change your name when you get married, it won't match the name on your birth certificate, but do you know what you get when you do get married? A marriage license. Come on, people. This is the last thing I want to be talking about right now, but I cannot stand the blatant lies on the internet on videos with millions of likes.
All right. So
good luck voting as a married woman.
There you go. So that's just supporting the SAVE Act. Good morning, Simon. What is up? Not only are 6 months old, but they are also 8 or 9 years old. I don't even know what what are you talking about? I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, the muckraker video is in there. I put a separate link to it right there so you can watch it. This person says Muckraker are one of the very best citizen journalist organizations in America. They are doing really valuable work, like exposing how non-citizens are voting in American elections at the local and national level. Give them a follow and share their work. Yes, so there's the oh wait.
How often do things like that happen? Right now, I'm in front of 200 Varick Street in New York
let's watch
City,
it. What the hell?
And inside this building on the 10th floor is an office of the New York City Board of Elections. Now, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pose as a non-citizen Canadian green card holder.
I'm a green card holder from Canada.
And I'm just going to see how far I can get.
Ah, that's what he did. So it's one of those types. All right, I'm going to skip it because just too much time. Also, these assholes, Mehdi Hassan and Jennifer Welch, they're being featured on X today. Mehdi Hassan and Jennifer Welch mock Scott Jennings' appearance on podcast. Now, not his, I don't think his physical appearance. They're mocking him showing up on a podcast or his appearance, period. Now let's find out because this is funny. On the February 6th episode of some stupid podcast, Hassan and Welch, co-host of the liberal podcast I've Had It, discuss a CNN panel from August 28, 2025 on America's political direction, leading to Welch's harsh personal attack on Jennings, a Republican strategist and former Mitch McConnell aide. On the Wednesday clip, post prompted critics like Newsmax host Rob Schmidt to call out the hypocrisy, quipping about the attacker's own appearance. So this is fucking irony, if you ask me. Let's just listen to what they said in this 2 minutes and 40
There's
seconds.
A clip we have of you on CNN last August with Scott Jennings, a man I consider to be the most loathsome man on cable news.
And if you don't think he has dementia, let's just discuss the time that when he was on the campaign trail that he tried to perform oral sex on a microphone. If Joe Biden did this, I don't think there would be...
Mehdi Hassan describing someone as the, quote, most loathsome person on CNN. Or on whatever he said on cable news. Holy pot kettle, Batman. Holy moly. Mehdi Hassan's just a propagandist lie. So here's the clip again.
There's a clip we have of you on CNN last August with Scott Jennings, a man I consider to be the most loathsome man on cable news.
And if you don't think he has dementia, let's just discuss the time that when he was on the campaign trail that he tried to perform oral sex on a microphone. If Joe Biden did this,
I hope this
I don't
is what
think
Democrats
there
do
would be
next year.
an
If this is the Democratic strategy, congratulations, America. You've already reelected Republican majorities as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, because Trump's approval is in the low 30s. It's in the low 30s right now.
Listen to this one, he says, picking up his mug and making that face of his.
Okay.
Why does he have such an annoying face?
this plastic, terrible fucking surgery idol bitch? Answer that question.
Okay. This old queen.
Look at her. You got to talk about anybody's face.
Sitting there. He's always looking like he acts like he's on the Truman Show or something. You know, he's always looking in the audience.
He said recently to Adam Friedland he sees his role as like a WWE wrestler, like performance.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah,
he admitted it?
He admitted it.
Oh. Yeah, I think that he should be fired from his job. Of course, that's never going to happen. But I think he is such a disgrace to human beings, intelligent conversations, to the truth. He's
not interested in the truth. He's already admitted he's a performer. He's entertained, and he's playing to an audience of one, which is Donald Trump.
I mean, you know what's amazing to me, Mehdi, is how submissive all of these men are. They want to beat women down and make us submissive. And I'm like, y'all are the most submissive group of men
Literally
I
what
have ever
conservatives
seen.
are,
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse Watters at Fox calls Trump.
Anyway. So this person says, so you, with you, is talking to Mehdi Hassan, because Mehdi Hassan is, why does Scott Jennings have such an annoying face? So you, Mehdi Hassan, with your face, and Jennifer Welch, of all people, with her face, are mocking Scott Jennings' face? Hello, Patio Furniture. What's up? Nice to have you here. Good Lord. Good Lord. This face. This person has a nerve to mock anybody's face. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, that's trending. Also, Whoopi Goldberg's trending. Apparently she's defending Epstein file mentions now amid hypocrisy claims. Goldberg explained a 2013 email from her team requesting Epstein's jet for a California event, which his side turned down. She stressed names appear for routine reasons like contacts and new mentions. So the people are saying she's one of these people probably, Trapp's mentioned the Epstein files 38,000 times. That's because every motherfucker who brings up the Epstein files asks about Donald Trump. And they get answers that are, he asked Virginia Giuffre. They mentioned his name probably 40 times in that questioning period, and she said he did nothing to her. She says, if you talk about Mar-a-Lago, because Epstein got kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, you have to mention Donald Trump. Of course his name's going to be in there. But Whoopi Goldberg finally realizes that seeing a name on a list does not equal guilt. Here's Whoopi Goldberg talking about her appearance in the Epstein files.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up
transparency?
My name is in the files. Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2? Okay.
And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not, you used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that
Yeah, and why is he on there so many times? Because people constantly mention his name when referring to these things, because he and Epstein were friends. It's no secret that they were friends back in the 90s. It's never been a secret. So his name is going to be mentioned. Now, and if you watch I've watched some of the interviews of the victims, or they'll do a recording of the victims, and they'll ask about Donald Trump over and over and over again, mentioning Donald Trump's name. So they might be 40 times in one interview. that they ask about him doesn't mean, and look, if he did anything, fuck him too. I've said that over and over. But so far in these files, there's no indication of that. Although Ted Lieu has lied and said something about that. Hello, Greenbat, or Special Can Acid, on my list of favorite Canadians. So anyway, her saying this just because your name's there doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I know that. I'm sure a lot of these celebrities whose names are mentioned in it doesn't mean anything. It's nice for finally someone to acknowledge that. Because I've said a lot. Yeah, their name might be on it, but unless there's specifically them being on the island, Bill Clinton, or in the plane or in his apartment, Bill Clinton, or having a picture of you on the Epstein's wall in a blue dress, Bill Clinton, I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot unless you did some stupid shit, which some of y'all did. And guaranteed, especially some of you English royals who've showed up there, Prince Andrew, who got caught doing stupid shit and should be in prison. Fuck you. So, but not everybody on the list did anything. They might be there just because Jeffrey Epstein cast a wide net of people he interacted with. So.
Was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Enquirer wrote it about it. Yeah. Your people wrote about this stuff.
We weren't sure about Ted Danson because we didn't recognize him when he was standing there in blackface. But I get what you're saying, Whoopi. Anyway, so that's trending. There you go. Also, on X, ICE plans to build a $38 billion warehouse conversion for a 92,600 detention beds. Now, this is weird. That's a lot of money to convert a warehouse. Agency documents outline spending $38.3 billion from a 2025 $170 billion package to expand detention to 92,600 beds by late November 2026, including 8 large centers for 60-day stays and 16 smaller-sized sites for shorter processing. Facilities in states like Arizona, Texas, and Georgia will offer cafeterias, recreation, and medical services for non-citizens awaiting deportation after a surge in arrests from 12,000 new agents. Critics like Representative Pramila Jayapal, the Chin, decry the $413,000 per bed cost as diverting funds from homelessness or school lunches. Well, they're not doing that. This is a Homeland Security budget. It comes out of their budget. It doesn't come from somewhere else. But I'm going to read a post that she made about it. As diverting funds from homelessness or school lunches, while supporters see it as vital for due process, amid backlogs, unverified claims of use for Americans, lack of document support, and governors in New Hampshire and Massachusetts voice local opposition. I don't care. Look, the average stay of someone in a detention facility, one of these facilities, is under 60 days. It's like 42 days, something like that. And it's because they're transitioning people for deportation. Now, it's interesting that they would be mad that you're trying to make more facilities that don't cramp people into small facilities or small spaces, that would have medical services and recreation for people while they're waiting to leave. It seems like that's the humane thing to do, and you're mad about that too now. Because what the really objective for you is you don't want anyone being deported. I get it, but sorry, that's how it works. Now, I thought I'd read Pramila Jayapal, a.k.a. the Chin's tweet about this. Well, here she is. She got her voice on here. Now, this is funny because she's telling something that's complete bullshit, but you'll hear it. She says, ICE announced they're going to spend more than $38 billion to detain thousands of more people. With that amount of money, we could end homelessness, extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies, or provide school lunches to every kid in America. Okay, let's just start with we could end homelessness. False. California has spent $24 billion on homelessness in the last 4 years. And it hasn't ended homelessness. Okay? Because everyone seems, you can end homelessness with $20 billion. No, you can't. Because homelessness is not necessarily a money problem. And if it is a money problem, all the money that you give to the NGOs seems to disappear and you still don't have homelessness. Homelessness increased in California. Why? Because a lot of the homelessness found out that you can get a lot more free shit if you go to California. And it's warmer. So it's easier to be homeless in California than anywhere else. And the $20 billion did not end homelessness. $24 billion, excuse me. How about affordable health care subsidies? Well, you could, but that's a different budget. That comes out of a completely different budget. Okay? They're taking this out of the ICE budget, not out of the Health and Human Services budget or whatever, anywhere else you'd have that, right? And then finally, provide school lunches for every kid in America. Why the actual fuck would the government want to do that? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know what? I'm pissed we do it here in Minnesota because the people in the Wayzata School District, the Edina School District, and the Eden Prairie School District, and the Woodbury School District, all their parents can afford to buy their kids' own fucking lunch. I don't care if we provide school lunches for the kids who can't afford to eat. That's fine. But why are we going to provide school lunches for every kid in America? America's not your daddy. Holy shit. I can't believe she said it. Let's see what she's put in her video. Is it the same bullshit?
ICE just announced that they're spending something like $38 billion, billion with a B, on new incarceration facilities across the country.
No, not incarceration facilities. They are deportation facilities where the people who end up in them are gone within 60 days because they're deported, like the mission of ICE.
To detain thousands and thousands more people.
For how long?
$38 billion would allow...
$38 billion, again, my spidey senses go up too. That's a lot of money for, $400,000 per bed, but I'm assuming it's because people go through those facilities and the beds get used by a bunch of different people. Whatever.
Was to end homelessness in America.
No, it can't. That's a lie. No, it can't. No, it can't. No, it can't. And that's a completely different budget. But it will not end homelessness in America. Just won't, because some people just end up being homeless no matter what.
Okay. The estimate for that is like $20 billion.
Yeah, and again, California, $24 billion over the last 4 years. Hasn't ended homelessness in America, so shut the fuck up about that.
It would allow us to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies. So
yeah, yippee skippy. That's, maybe you should fix that instead of subsidizing it more.
20 million people across America would not get cut off of health care.
What? What do you mean 20 million people getting cut off of health care? Yeah, that's no. Anyway, whatever.
It would allow us to provide,
Okay, she's just recapping what she wrote, what she said here. No, providing school lunches for every kid in America. Why? Parents can provide their kids lunch. Let parents do it. Again, America's not your daddy. And all that does is put more reliance on government, and we want less reliance on government. Okay? Yeah, feed your own damn kids. Exactly. Whew. All right. Okay. I'm a little heated about that one. Next one is New York election workers process. Wait a minute. I must have put this on here twice. I did, so we can get rid of that one. Okay, we did that one. Here's one. Oh, and this is old. I don't know why this is coming up again, but so we talked about this. I could have sworn we talked about this like 6 months ago. Connecticut graduate sues school district after graduating honors without learning to read, which is hilarious. I'm still laughing at this. Diagnosed with ADHD, a speech impediment, and dyslexia, Ortiz immigrated from Puerto Rico at age 6 and received no direct reading instructions despite her pleas, using apps like speech to text and Google Translate to earn credits and make the honor roll. She then gained admission to University of Connecticut's Hartford campus. In February 2025, she sued the Hartford Board of Education and others for $3 million, alleging negligence, ignored bullying, and failure to provide mandated services amid staffing shortages and IEP. What the fuck does this say? So this is that chick that's, she never learned to read, but she graduated high school with honors. Now, wait a minute. How exactly did she graduate with honors knowing she had to know that she didn't know how to read? It's not like she didn't know how to read. Did her parents not know she didn't know how to read? How does this happen? A woman is taking legal action against her high school, alleging she was awarded honors at graduation, even though she is illiterate. How did she even know? How did she fill out a college application to get into the University of Connecticut? Because if you can't read, you probably can't write, right? Right? She hid it by using tools and expected people to know. Like, yeah, she used AI. Yeah, I'm sure she did. Because non-white children are held to no standard. You know what? I hate to agree with you on that. But I think it's just children in general now are held to no standard. I can't believe the reading level of kids these days. Like, there's kids, so many kids I saw a report at the University of California, San Diego, where kids who want to go into the journalism school cannot read or write. And they have to go through like this remedial reading thing to be able to read. How does this fucking happen? And I'm convinced that both reading and math skills. Oh no, it wasn't that. It's a STEM school, but they couldn't do math. They couldn't do basic math in their head. Like they couldn't say, 8 + 2 = 6 + blank. And they could not figure that out in their head. How basic is that shit? And it's because now school kids don't have to memorize times tables or addition. They don't have to do addition and subtraction. And reading, they don't do phonics. They do the sight reading bullshit. So when you're doing phonics, you at least can learn how to read phonetically, right? It's just nuts. So anyway, so she's suing the school. We've seen that.
No, never in a million years.
In some way, did you ever think you'd be going to college here?
No, never. Never.
I mean, she knows she can't read. Why are you even thinking about going to college? That's what I don't get.
In a million years.
In some ways, Alicia Ortiz is living an American dream. The 19-year-old began her freshman year at the University of Connecticut in Hartford this fall.
Can't
She's
fucking
excited
read.
to study public policy.
You can't even read public policy. You can't even spell public policy. Oh my God.
Combination of hard work after moving north from Puerto Rico as a child.
Do you remember when you first came to Connecticut?
Okay, we've seen this before. I'm not playing it again. It'll be in the links. It's just insane. And then finally, that's done. Linda Davis is trending. This is the woman who got killed in Georgia when I think this dude from Guatemala ran from the ICE, and the guy high speed through traffic and hit her, and she died. Guatemala illegal alien fled ICE killed a Georgia teacher Monday after blowing through a red light and slamming into her vehicle, federal and local officials said. Oscar Vasquez Lopez, 38, initially complied when ICE agents attempted a traffic stop in Chatham County, but then made a reckless U-turn and fled, running a red light before colliding with a civilian vehicle, according to an ICE statement. The driver, Hesse K-8 teacher Linda Davis, died at the hospital. Lopez remains hospitalized with minor injuries and is in custody, facing charges including first-degree homicide by vehicle, reckless driving, driving without a license, and failure to obey a traffic control device. And Davis' school issued a letter to parents offering condolences and counseling for students and staff, noting the crash occurred just outside the school. So they're going to, now the idiots on X for sure are probably saying things like, ICE killed this woman, which they are. They're saying ICE killed it. In fact, I'll find you one right here. This is that Faith Jackson tweet we talked about yesterday. ICE killed a teacher in Georgia today when they chose to chase a man who posed no danger and had no criminal history. Well, first of all, the dude had a deportation order. In fact, they said, utterly disgusting lie. A Guatemalan criminal alien fled law enforcement and crashed into another vehicle, killing Linda Davis, an American citizen and beloved teacher. The tragic loss at the hands of someone who shouldn't be here could have been prevented. Our prayers are with the Savannah, Georgia community and the entire family of Linda Davis. And some people are calling the assholes who are saying that ICE killed somebody out when in fact a person who shouldn't be here and had a deportation order is the one who killed the woman. So that's still trending. And so we got those stories. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the this dickhead right here. James Tallarico. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but it's blowing up even more. So James Tallarico is still lying about his interview with Stephen Colbert not airing on CBS. So here's this. CBS blocks Colbert's Tallarico interview over FCC equal time rule. Notice who's this. Now this is a little more accurate. On his CBS show Monday, Colbert revealed lawyers halted a 54-second interview with Democratic candidate James Tallarico, citing the FCC's equal time rule that requires similar airtime for rivals like Representative Jasmine Crockett, Tallarico, former teacher arguing against Christian nationalism, and for helping the needy, posted the clip online Tuesday where it quickly drew millions of views. Democrats called it censorship. The government didn't stop them from airing this, while conservatives saw it as standard law enforcement, and the online release gave Tallarico more reach than the TV slot might have. Yeah, it got way more attention because of the controversy, and now he's bragging. In this post right here, breaking, our campaign raised $2.5 billion in 24 hours after the FCC banned our Colbert interview. Now, if you look at his profile, here's what his profile says. Texas State Representative, former middle school teacher, and Presbyterian seminarian running for the U.S. Senate to take power back for the working people. Now, this guy loves to talk about his Christian values and how the right has hijacked Christian values and Christian nationalism, blah, 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 blah. But he blatantly lies about why the interview didn't air. The FCC did not ban this interview. The FCC didn't even know about the interview. The FCC does not preempt anything airing on broadcast TV. They usually are after the fact reactive organization, and they would not have said anything about this. How the fuck would they have even known that James Tallarico was being interviewed by Stephen Colbert? They didn't. They had no idea. And again, he promoted this by saying, this is the interview Donald Trump didn't want you to see. His FCC refused to air my interview with Stephen Colbert. Trump is worried we're about to flip the state. First of all, he's not even the leading Democrat in the Senate primary for Democrats in Texas. He's second place right now. So nobody gave a fuck whether or not this interview aired. And he's lying. Now, also people like Krasenstein says the same thing. Oh, the CBS. At least they're now saying, well, CBS refused to air this Colbert interview with Democrat James Tallarico, who's running for the Senate in Texas, after being intimidated by Trump's FCC rules. What do you mean Trump's FCC rules? The equal time rules have been in place for years, decades. What a lying piece of shit. Now, it's amazing as I'm reading. It's Colbert is trending because of it. Now, here's maybe a little more accurate take. Oh no, this is fake too, because everyone's going off what James Tallarico said. So this guy says, it's important that you understand what happened last night. Last night, Stephen Colbert interviewed Democratic Senate candidate James Tallarico, a candidate who by all accounts is on track in the polls to flip Texas blue. Bullshit. In response, Trump's FCC reportedly threatened CBS if the interview aired. How would they even have known about it? There's no way the FCC had any idea that Tallarico was even interviewed by Stephen Colbert. They're making this shit up. CBS caved and pulled the segment citing financial reasons. No, they didn't. They specifically said that we erred on the side of caution to not break FCC rules, but they weren't. The FCC had nothing to do with this at all. Now, here it is. It's important for you to understand. This is someone else saying it's important for you to understand this isn't what happened. The equal time was for the primary. It isn't even for the general election. The person deprived was Jasmine Crockett, not a Republican. CBS News warned Colbert about the law. They spun it into this hoax instead. So now, and here's the stupid post that he had earlier about saying Donald Trump didn't want you to see this. Donald Trump had nothing to fucking do with this. Nor did the FCC, because they wouldn't have known about it until it aired, not before it aired. How the fuck would they have known about it before it aired? Now, Jasmine Crockett's not happy about this. Jasmine Crockett is finally hearing about it. Someone named Keith Edwards says Crockett is essentially calling Tallarico and Colbert liars, saying Trump and CBS are the ones telling the truth. Oh, he's saying pretty sad stuff. Wait a minute. Let's listen to Jasmine Crockett respond to this.
We did receive information suggesting that the federal government did not shut down this segment.
How would they have?
That is my
How would they have?
The federal government.
How would they have? Is there someone in the FCC monitoring who fucking Stephen Colbert interviews? I doubt it.
Didn't shut this down, and we will do an official statement once we get another official statement that we anticipate is going to be coming from Paramount. All right, so we will read what they say, and then we'll go from there. It is our understanding that Colbert, either Mr. Colbert or CBS, decided to make this hit on the air, and this was because of a fear that the FCC may say something to them, and.
But why would they? Why would that? Here's the problem. This is our official statement. To say we will be doing an official statement. Yeah, she's pretty much saying that.
There may have been advice.
Because she wants to spin this in a different way, but she can't. Because she's the one who is if there's detriment to anybody, it would be to her and the other candidates for the Senate in the Democratic primary in Texas. So, and then that would be extended probably to the Republican primary too. So, I mean, the Colbert now, and also this, it's interesting because it's not a news program. So it's not the CBS News division that even did this because they're trying to blame Barry Weiss now too.
To just have me on, and then they could clear the issue. It was my understanding that someone somewhere decided we just don't want to do that, and instead we're going to just do it this way.
They're trying to make a big deal about it. Now, what's the fuss all about as far as this? It's a 58-second interview? Well, why do you have a 58-second interview, first of all? Why do you only have a 50 or 54-second interview? Let's watch it. I want to watch it, and I'm going to give Tallarico some airtime. I don't give a fuck if I give any other time to anybody else because I'm not run by the FCC. Here's the interview, because there's a couple things that he said in here that my ears perked up, and I'm like, what? Listen.
James Tallarico.
Now, I wonder if I can't get in trouble for this, because this is, well, I don't know if they're going to try to copyright strike. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm gonna guess he's gonna say some stupid shit.
There you go.
Let's listen to it. Yay.
Now, here's the thing. I don't usually say this to a guest, but if people are watching this right now, it's because they found us online on YouTube.
Now, that's interesting. How would you know that you're not going to air it? So this was told to you in advance. I mean, they made it sound like, oh, they did this interview and then they decided not to air it. They did it anyway and put it on YouTube. This is planned out.
I did an act of the show that's on tonight explaining why. It's not the first time you've caused some drama. FCC opening probe into The View after appearance by Tallarico.
Okay, and I'd love to hear about that one too.
Do you mean to cause trouble?
I think that Donald Trump is worried that we're about to flip Texas.
Anybody think that? He's the number 2 leading. He's in second place in polling in Texas for the Senate seat. Why would he think that James Tallarico is about to flip Texas?
James Tallarico.
Oh, is that it? No, I want to see the actual, there's a clip of him saying something. Is this it right here? This is the one I wanted to play. It was longer than 58 seconds. They put out this post of this too. This is interesting.
Well, for 50 years, the religious right, a political movement, that is the perfect description for it, they convinced a lot of our fellow Christians that the most important issues were abortion and gay marriage. 2 issues that aren't mentioned.
Did they, though? Because it's not just the Christian right who has concerns about abortion and gay marriage. And frankly, I don't give a shit about marriage. The government should be involved in marriage anyway, so whatever. But anyway.
And in the Bible, 2 issues that Jesus never talked about. Jesus in Matthew 25 tells us exactly how you and I and every one of our fellow believers, how we're going to be judged and how we're going to be saved. By feeding the hungry, by healing the sick, by welcoming the stranger. Nothing about going to church, nothing about voting Republican. It was all about how you treat other people.
Now, let's analyze that for a second. Me growing up in a Christian household, and he's running for the U.S. Senate. Okay. What's interesting is, so he's saying that his job in the Senate, at least I not explicitly, but he's implying that his job in the Senate is to do those things, to feed the hungry and welcome the stranger and do all these things, right? Except I'm going to guess that, as I think about Jesus' teachings, he didn't say, go jump into government and take from others to do those things. I don't ever recall him saying that. In fact, he was saying, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and you do your own good works, which means that's not a admonishment to government to do that shit. That means you need to do that shit. You need to help feed the hungry or help the poor or whatever. You give of yourself. You don't take from others to do it. Otherwise, you're not accomplishing what Jesus has asked you to do. Jesus didn't say, he said, again, render unto Caesar. So that's an interesting take by James Tallarico. Well, why would, what does that have to do with anything? Then go encourage others to give of themselves, not go to the Senate and steal from others to make yourself feel good. Because you're not giving of yourself by taking from others to do it. So anyway, it's very good. Isn't the first commandment, be fruitful and multiply? It seems like an admonishment against abortion to me. Well, not the first commandment. First commandment is thou shalt know no other God but me. So anyway, hello, Greg Rogers. How you doing? He was also not a fan of the tax collections. Yeah, and James Tallarico is trying to run to become part of the tax collection agency, aka the U.S. government. So, by the way, good morning, Greg Rogers. How you doing? So that's a weird way to, he's right in what Jesus said, but he's not right in the method of doing it. It doesn't mean go to the Senate and take from others to do it. It means you must do it of yourself.
Don't.
Thank you. See?
I've said before, don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe.
Show me how you treat other people, not how you go to the government and force people to treat other people.
And I think
it's amazing because a lot of these people who probably have strong opinions on abortion and or gay marriage or whatever, I'm sure they also spend time, with their own churches, food drives and food banks, and go give stuff to Goodwill and surely go out and volunteer to feed the poor or whatnot. Just like you, James Tallarico. I'm sorry, but you're not making a good point here. Even though it sounds good to an audience who's clapping like clapping seals, but if you really think about it, you're not espousing Jesus' teachings by making this about why you should be in the Senate. Maybe it should be why you should be on the street preaching to others to do good things for others. Because you're going to the wrong place to do it. You're going to a place where you want to take from people to enforce your teachings rather than of them just doing it themselves.
Our faith, we've got to get back to those fundamentals. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas. And when I was little, he told me that Christianity is a simple religion. Not an easy religion, he would always clarify, but a simple religion because Jesus gave us 2 commandments. Love God and love neighbor.
Yes. As an individual, as a member of the church or whatever, not force others to do what you want them to do. And that's what you're running to do. So, again, render to Caesar, but you're not going to get into the kingdom of heaven unless you do it yourself. I'm not getting a redemption because the government is giving welfare to the kid next door. Now, I'm fine with the government helping people, but if I'm not doing it myself, if I'm not also giving of myself, then I'm still not following Jesus' teaching. I don't follow Jesus' teachings by voting for James Tallarico. Let's put it that way.
And there was no exception to that second commandment. Love thy neighbor regardless of race or gender or sexual orientation or immigration status or religious affiliation. And it's why I have fought so hard.
What? Okay. But again, you as an individual must do that.
Hard for the separation of church and state in the state capitol in Texas.
And yet, you're talking about the teachings of Jesus as you're running for the Senate. Make up your mind. So anyway, it's a fascinating contradiction that he seems to be expressing here. So that's everything he's done. Let's see. Then Crockett got that. Just some headlines before I go. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on illegal immigration and some of these on the right-wing side of the journalism sphere. A pair of illegal aliens accused of torturing, sexually assaulting a man in North Carolina, home invasion. Before torture, yeah, oh, good God. Also in Breitbart, former acting ICE director, we're going to move from Minnesota and target sanctuary cities and states and start withholding funds from sanctuary cities. On the Alex Marlow Show, Jonathan Fahey, a former acting director of ICE, talked about immigration policy. Fahey said, I think sanctuary cities is where you go because, one, that's where the numbers are, and we need to, and I think Congress needs to do more to figure out a way to withhold funds from sanctuary cities. If that happens, hey, they dug their own grave or whatever. Also, Mamdani has tapped at abolish ICE activists as his new immigration chief. Now, I didn't know New York had an immigration chief. Why does New York City have an immigration chief? But anyway, New York City's Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani just tapped a new immigration officer to his administration who previously advocated to abolish ICE and has cozied up to radical figures and organizations. Mamdani announced on Tuesday that he's appointed Faiza Ali as the commissioner of the mayor's office of immigrant affairs. The New York City mayor said he made the choice at a time when immigrant New Yorkers face escalating attacks and uncertainty, adding that this administration will not equivocate. And so great. That's just anybody expect less from Mamdani? New York Post has an article, an opinion piece on the rise in transgender killers, proving that we have a major mental health crisis unfolding. Well, unfolding, it's being exacerbated by ideology. It's not unfolding. It's been here. And but I don't know. Look, I think, some of this could be the fact that there's such a focus on transgender people right now that now we just notice that there's a bunch of them. I mean, it's not, oh shit, I don't want to see that. Okay, anyway, but yeah, that's you can read that editorial. I'll just leave it there. Also, someone named Nicholas Giordano in The Federalist, my students protesting ICE cannot answer one question on the U.S. citizenship exam. Is anybody surprised? Let's see, this is in recent weeks, I've watched school close not because of weather or emergencies, but to push students into anti-ICE protests. Administrators shuttered classrooms, stopped instruction, and mobilized students as pawns for far-left activism. The scandal is not the students have opinions. The scandal is the same institutions that struggle to teach civics have no trouble organizing political demonstrations as they fail at their most basic job, education. What makes it so frustrating is simply not the indoctrination aspect of this. It's knowing how little the student body understands the Constitution, federalism, or even the basic role of law enforcement in a society governed by laws. Yet administrators direct those same students into political demonstrations for an issue they hardly understand. And this is not by accident. An educational system that has abandoned its core missions produces the predictable result. Anyway, he's saying that he had them do a citizenship test, and not one of them passed it. You can read the article. Legal insurrection. Latinia James is in the news again, and she is being sued for censoring parents and school boards over the gender debate. School groups claim the state prohibits them from expressing viewpoints on gender identity with which it disagrees. For many parents, school board meetings have become the front lines for the fight in their children's education. And at these real-time public gatherings, fed-up moms and dads push back on woke school policies, advocate for their children, and hold local school leaders to account. Well, problem is the state doesn't like that. That right took a direct hit in New York on May 8th, 2025, when Attorney General Letitia James and I know it's Letitia, but I like calling her Letitia, and Education Commissioner Betty A. Rosa issued a joint guidance on harassment and bullying at school board meetings. The vaguely worded guidance letter warned school boards statewide that misgendering students using pronouns based on biological sex or publicly supporting sex-segregated sports and facilities could lead to a board member's removal from office. What? Now, a group of parents and school board members represented by the Southeastern Legal Foundation is fighting back in federal court at Wachter et al. Versus Letitia James and New York State Education Department. They are asking the U.S. District Court in the Northern District of New York to declare the guidance unconstitutional and halt its enforcement, which they should. I hope it goes all the way to the fucking Supreme Court. The school group claims the letter singles out disfavored viewpoints as supporting sex-segregated sports and facilities, labeling them as attacks, bullying, and harassment in an old ploy to recast otherwise protected speech as actionable conduct. Again, whenever someone, I'm waiting for it. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for someone to start correcting me on pronouns. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I'm probably going to have an opportunity sometime in the near future, I'm sure. But my answer is going to be, in my dialect of English, I use pronouns based on my perceived, the perception that I have of the sex of the individual I'm talking to. Or talking about, because it's not even talking to, it's talking about. Because if it's someone I'm talking to, I'm just saying, oh, you and me. And do you have a different, are you no longer you also? Or are you she? Do I have to say, well, I need to talk to she about something that's very important that we need to talk about. But anyway, I don't give a shit. I speak the dialect of English that I speak. If you come into my space and I am speaking about someone, I use the dialect of English that I use, and you cannot demand that I use a different dialect of English. Just like if I were in Spain, when I was in Spain, I didn't demand that people spoke English. I learned as much Spanish as I could before I could go, just in case the person I was speaking to didn't speak English, and we would try to communicate using as close to the language barrier that we have. But I didn't expect them to speak in my dialect of English. So, anyone who tells me that can piss off. It's a good article. You should read the rest of it. And then finally, in the only other one I have open at PJ Media, the U.S. Department of Education is investigating the Portland schools for racism.
That's racist!
The woke Portland Public Schools are in trouble for blatantly racist programs. I know, you're shocked. The U.S. Department of Education has opened an investigation into the Portland Public Schools over its Center for Black Student Excellence. The Department of Ed believes that the CBSE could be illegal under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, according to a February 17th press release. PPS has allocated millions of dollars specifically for black students discriminating on the basis of color. The new Ed investigation is a response to a civil rights complaint that advocacy group Defending Education filed last year. Sarah Parshall Perry, vice president and legal fellow at the Defending Education, reacted to the investigation in the following statement shared with PJ Media. We at Defending Education are incredibly gratified that the Department of Education's Civil Rights Office is opening an investigation into Portland Public Schools over its Black Student Success Plan and the millions in associated taxpayer dollars it intends to expend in advancing learning for students of only one race. Yeah, it seems weird that they would do that. Because it's like, why wouldn't you just try to make that happen for every student? You know what I mean? I mean, it's weird. I mean, I understand if this was 1960 and every single white kid was up here and every single black kid were down here, I'd be like, okay, what the fuck are we doing wrong? But right now, everyone's down here. They all suck and they all need to be educated. And education is often the responsibility of the one being educated as much as it is the one's educating. So why are you putting millions of dollars into just one small subset of students? I don't ever get it. But anyway, you can read that article. I mean, I know. Historical racism is the bane of every existence, but I'm just not always buying it. Anyway, all right, that's it for today, guys. I got to go. Thank you for joining me on today's Morning Night Live. I'm about to put these links in the chat and get the hell out of here, but I hope you have a wonderful hump day today, for the rest of your day. Hope it's fan-fucking-tastic, to be honest. And that's it. So here are the links. Copy and paste links from today. They'll also be in the description down here somewhere, or over there, or where, I don't know, wherever you're watching this, there's a thing that says description. If you click it, the links are like in the second paragraph, so you'll be able to find it if you're looking for it. Thank you. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.